got a squared plus, let me see, 6a plus 5, where you've had to factor, okay, like you've had to factor it like this. So this was our product, and the factor would be AA. Who knows how I can get that 5? What times what will give you the 5?
5.
Is 5 times what?
1.
5 times 1, such that I check the inside, the product of the inside, the product of the outside, and that'll give you 6a. And both of these have to be positive. We've also had it, again, I'll give you another example where it's a squared, and it is positive 4a minus 5. Again, where you only have a single number here, and usually just a single number here. So some of them you can even do mentally, a times a. How can I get a negative 5? Yeah, it has to be a negative and a positive. It has to be a positive and a negative. And this time, though, it has to sum to 4. So it's going to be, is it 1 right here? I need a pencil. Now I need a pencil myself. Well, if I put a, yeah, that's going to be it. So if I put a 5 and a 1. So again, positive 5a and negative 1a sums to that. Sort of, it's something new in 8th grade, but you have to have it. It's part of the curriculum. Here, though, is, now it gets harder. It gets a lot harder. And I'm not looking forward to teaching this at all because it's hard. So I'm going to show you the way that the book is telling you to do it. What's that? Yeah, this is going to be for 2 days, so hopefully you're not going to have that much. You won't know what all this means, but the book is having you go through all of this. Does that look fun?
No.
To solve one little problem. In fact, I'll go through it very quickly. We might have to use it sometime. I'm not fond of the method that they're using. In fact, I'll do it probably on one like this. Okay, is again, you can just kind of sort of listen because I'm going to have to do this another way. X minus 3. It's similar principle, except this time I've got a number here. So what the book is telling you to do, and if you need to check out a book ever, you may. I don't like the book because it doesn't give you a lot of examples, but they're telling you to multiply these two. What is 4 times negative 3? And somebody just said it. A negative 12. Such that, so those are my first times my last, such that when I take the difference or the sum, they come to a negative 1. Okay. Actually, this isn't so bad. Who thinks they know 2 factors of 12 such that I'll get a difference of 1? 4 and 3. Okay, so far it's not so bad. I'm going to show you where it gets bad. It's going to be 4 and 3. And I need more negatives, so it's going to be right here. Okay. But here's where it gets bad. And so I had to rack my brain out for an easier way, but I have to show you what the book is telling you. They're saying these 2 numbers make up this middle number. So those 2 numbers make up the middle number. So what they want you to do, and I can make a copy of this if you want a copy of this, they're saying take these 2 numbers, put instead of, well, wait a second, take the first one here, put the last one last, and then these 2 are going to trade the place of this. So they go negative 4x and then plus 3x. Okay, all of that. Okay. And now it's going to get worse. Yeah, it gets worse. This is what the book is telling you to do. The book is saying now, group it and take out what's in common. By the way, A few of you missed on the test, the last page, so do listen to this, where you had to take out something that was in common. And some of you just took out a number, but didn't put what was left. So you really need to listen, because I'll give you back your test today. Who knows what's in common in both of these terms?
X squared.
A 4x, because this one doesn't have an x squared. So this is what you had to do on that last page on your test. I had to take out a 4. I had to take out an x. And here's the part where some of you missed it. I had a binomial. I'm still going to have a binomial, but a smaller one. 4x times what will give me 4x squared?
Just X.
Just an x. And double check, 4x times it is that. Minus 4x times what will give me 4x?
1.
A 1. Very good. A 1. So that's the factor. That's how your last page on your test should have looked like. Then, what's in common in this parentheses?
3.
The 3. So I'm going to pull out a 3, and I'm left with an x minus 3 times 1. Okay. All right. I knew I'd get this reaction because it's awful. We're almost done. Now I'm going to look at the whole thing. Now I see this and this in common. So now I'm going to pull it out, which is x minus 1. So I'm pulling that out. And then what's left is 4x plus 3. And after all of that, like these here we could do in our head, but they're having you go through all of this to get the factorization of that, such that if I checked my outside, 4x times 4 is my 4x squared, negative 1 times 3 is that, and then these two sum to negative 4x, the outside is 3x, and it gives me that negative x right there. Was that fun? No.
Yes.
No. So I had to rack my brain to think of another way that we can do this. So I'm going to try. So this one you might want to write on your paper. Let's go ahead and put just so you have an example, 4x squared minus the x again minus 3. So I'm going to do it a little different, a little the same. So a little difference is I'm going to take the 4 times 3, except I'm not going to multiply them together. I'm going to leave them as factors. So here's my first and the last, 4 times 3. And then I still need to know that they're going to sum to a negative 1. Okay. Alrighty. So now from here, that 3. What's the only two numbers that I can multiply to get a 3? 3 times 1. So 3 times 1. Now on this one, there's 2 ways. Who knows a way that I can get that 4?
2.
So I can either do 2, 2, or I'm going to put it down again. Or I could do a 4, 1. Okay. So for sure, there's only one way here. And here's how you need to do that. I need a pencil because I'm gonna have to erase. All right. So what I do, I connect one of these to one of these on the last. So in fact, it's the same number. So I'm just going to go 2 times 3. Oh, hold on. I need a sharpener. Well, no, I don't. Okay. 2 times 3 is 6. And this was a negative. Okay. And the other 2 times 1 is 2. Is this going to be and 1 has to be a negative. Is this going to give me a difference of a negative 1? No. So I know it's not that combo right away. So I'm going to go down to this one. Okay. And now I need my pencil. Hold on a second. All right. So, in fact, I'm going to go, I think I see it right away on this one. Well, okay, I see it right away. All right, so I'm going to go this 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. Is that going to give me a difference of 1?
Yes.
Yes, as long as 1 was negative, and so it has to be our bigger one is negative. So that's really important that you get that down. Had I done it, and you would have seen, had I done it the other way, 4 times 3, that would have been 12. 1 times 1 would have been 1. That would have been a difference of 11. And then I would have switched it to this pair. But anyway, now we're ready to go. Okay. So, and this is where it's really important, and it's going to be much easier instead of going through this. So, put your 2 parentheses. Now, what did I hook up with the 4? What number did I multiply it times?
1.
The 1. So that 4 comes from my first number. I'm going to put it first. I'm going to put 4x, and when I check, I'm doing the inside and the outside. So I'm putting the 4 and the 1. That's like on the outside. And then this 1 also comes from my first term. So it's got to be in this first term of this parentheses. It's going to be 1x, and I multiplied that times 3. And then we knew the negative had to be with the 4 because we had more negatives. So the 1, okay, so this comes to 3x. 1 times 4 comes to 4x. I need the negative here. So how do I get that? I would put it right here. It took a little bit to explain it, but if you notice, it's the exact same thing as this one without going through all of this. It is our 4x plus 3 and our x minus 1. Same exact thing. So now we're going to go ahead and look at your paper. Yeah, and I'm just going to show you why I don't like the book method, because if I turn it over to the back, again, they want you to multiply 45 times 45. Well, what is 45 times 45? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
45.
45 times 45. 45 times 45 is 2,025. That's what the book wants you to do. And then they want you to factor it such that the sum comes to 56. Is that going to be fun to do?
No.
No. So that's why we have to think of another method. We're not going to even worry about this side today. So we're just going to look at this side. And we're not going to worry about any of these up here.
Thank God.
Yeah, we're not going to worry about those. So we're just going to look at 7 through 15. So now, I am. So now,
Hi, YouTube.
okay, sir.
See that?
All right, so here we go. Let's start with the number 8. And I'm going to write it down. You don't need to, but you do need to write down how we get our factors. Minus y minus 6. So we're going to start by going 12 times 6. So I'm going to make my little chart, 12 times 6. And I know that's going to come to a negative. Okay. And if it's a negative, I'm still going to sum, but I'm going to have a positive and negative. Such that, who knows the number in front of that y?
1.
It's a 1. So such that my numbers come to a negative 1. So there's a little bit of trial and error. Where's my pencil? I had a pencil already. Okay, I do need this pencil. I do. There's a little bit of a trial and error, but let's go ahead and see what we need to do. This is not sharpening. Who thinks on the 12? Tell me 2 numbers that I could multiply to get 12.
4.
3 and 4. I like 3 and 4. Okay, so I'm going to try 3 and 4. Tell me 2 numbers that'll give us 6. 2 and 3. Okay. 2 and 3. So I want, in fact, I think I see it. I want my 2.
4 and 2 and 3 and 3.
Well, 3 and 3 would give me, oh, that's it. Oh my gosh. You got it. The numbers had to be relatively close. In other words, 3 times 3 is 9. And again, one of them is going to be negative. 4 times 2 is what? Is 8. Will that give us a sum of -1?
Yes.
There we go. We're almost done. I could have, like, had I not done it right, like, I could have gone 3 times 2 and I would have gotten 6. 4 times 3, I would have gotten 12. And then if I would have done that, say, oh no, let me just switch the ones that I multiplied, and eventually you'll get it. So over here now I know my combo. So we're going to go straight to the answer. Okay. So the 3, this is coming from my first number, so it's got to be first in the parentheses. So it's going to be 3y, and in fact, I can actually go ahead and put my other number right here. So this comes from the first, it's going to be 3 and what? 3 and 4. So those go first. And I can tell right away that that's going to give me that. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my numbers. We multiplied the 3 times the what? Times the 3. And so 3 times the 3 is going to go here. Then we multiplied the 4 times the what? 2. So that's the inside. So the 2 is going to go here. And then 2 times 4 is 8y. 3 times 3 is 9y. Which one is going to get the negative? The 8 or the 9? The 9, because we need more negatives. So how did we get that 9? It was with this combo, so that negative has to go here. And the positive is going to go here. And that's your answer.
What?
So right here.
That's what.
So this is the factorization. It's a little tricky.
So does that mean if you multiply it by itself, it would get to the top one?
Yes. Again, 3y times 4y is 12y squared. My 2 times -3 is my -6. And I just have to check the inside and the outside to make sure it comes out -1y, and it does. Okay. So that's it. Or if I did the box, it would come out to be the same thing. So that is my first answer. That is 3y plus 2.
Wrong spot, wrong spot.
Ah, thank you.
Andy?
I think so. All right, so this is number 8 because that means you're being very observant. So 3y plus 2 times 4y minus 3. Go, we're going to scratch this out. All right, then, okay, we'll do the number 9. 9 is going to be, I think, tricky. Maybe not so. Okay, so I'm going to write number 9 down just so I have that visual here. Then I'm going to sort of do it by the book by going 3 times 2, but I'm not going to make it 60. I'm going to leave it as their factors. Again, Joelle, get this down because you cannot do this just thinking about it. You have to actually be doing it. Such that, by the way, who knows what my signs are going to be? Are they going to be the same or different? The same, because that plus tells me they're both going to be the same. They're both going to end up being negatives, I'm sure. Such that we end up getting a -17. So, and it also means we're going to sum our products to get that 17. We're going to sum them. So, tell me 2 numbers that make 30. We're going to try 15 and 2, and 15 times 2. I think this is going to be it. What's the only way that you can get a 2? Is 2 and 1. Actually, I don't think this is going to be it. Okay, because I'll do the 15 times 1. It'll make it smaller. 15 times 1 is 15. 2 times 2 is 4. But that's going to be bigger than that. So that's not the combo. That's why you need to use a pencil. So then I'm just going to switch. And I know this is actually going to make it worse if I took the 15 times 2, because that's going to be a 30. So that means I have to change this. So I'm going to change this. What's 2 other numbers?
3 and 10.
3 and 10. Oh yeah, 3 and 10.
I don't know if it's going to be 3 and 10, but it might be.
One on today. I don't know what's wrong with
I think it's going to be 5 and 6, but we'll see. But it's okay. We need to see somewhere. Maybe it doesn't work.
10 and 3, 10 and 3, 2 and 3.
Oh, thank you. That's 2 candies for you. Okay. Then, on this one, if I go 10 times 1, it's 10. 3 times 2 is 6, but that's not 17. So I'm going to maybe switch, not my numbers just yet, but I'll put 10 times 2.
Why'd you put 10, 6?
Because when I multiplied 10 times 1, it was 10, and 3 times 2 was 6. Good question. But it doesn't come to that 17. So then I would, before I switch the numbers, I'm just going to switch the order. This time I'll go 3 times 1 is 3, but 10 times 2 is 20. That's getting worse. So I do have to change these numbers.
No, it's not.
But remember, our numbers are going to sum to 17. We're not taking the difference. They have to sum to 17. So on this one, so instead of 3 and 10,
5 and 6.
5 and 6. Five and 6. Okay, I think this is it. Who thinks they know what that 6 is going to go to?
2.
The 2, for sure. 6 times 2 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5. Is that going to sum to 17?
Yes.
There's our pair right there. So we're ready to get our answer right away. So I know my front numbers already. The front numbers, Joel, you really need to write this. You cannot do this by thinking it. So it's 5a times 6a. Who knows what both of the signs are? Well, they're both negative, such that negative times negative is a positive. And then, what did we multiply the 5 times? Times the 1. So again, here's my outside. It's going to be 5 times 1. And the 6 was times the 2. And then, so we can tell visually, 5a times 6a is 30a squared. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. And then the 2 times 6a is negative 12a. Negative 1 times 5a is negative 5a. And that does sum to our negative 17. So everything checks out. If we did a box of this times this, the whole thing would come to that. So that's it. It's a little work, but I think it's easier than doing, where is it, where we did all of that do you like to do this factoring instead of grouping it? And especially when you have negatives, it's not going to be pretty at all. So I think I'm going to stick with this. And what was that answer?
5a minus 2, 6a.
Okay, hold on. 5a what?
Minus 2.
And then 6a
Minus 1.
minus 1. Let me check the time because we're not ready to do anything just yet. Okay. All right, let's do a couple more so you have a real good idea. And this might be 3 days. I don't know. So let's go ahead and see. Let's do the number 10. Again, here's why I don't like the book method is I would have to go 35 times 6, which is 210. And then I have to find the factors such that they sum to 31. Oh, I think I know this one. Okay, which would be 10 times 21. But even if you knew that, okay, here again, I'll do it real fast with the book method. But even if I knew, if I did it the book method, which it comes to 210, and I need 2 factors that sum to 31, and I know right away that is that. Does that come to 31?
Yes.
The problem with this way is that you've got to go back and you've got to write 35b squared plus 21b plus 10b plus 6. So you're trading this for the 31b. Then you have to factor it and get out the common number. What's the common number, by the way? Because you need to know how to do that. Who knows what's in common here?
7.
7 and what?
5. Or 7 and
7B.
7B. So it doesn't hurt just to review for the test I need to give you back. 7B, and that's 5B plus 7 times 3, plus this I have to factor out a 2, and I get a 5B plus 3. And then I'm almost done. This comes out. And what's left is 7B plus 2. Do you like this method? Okay. So I'm gonna do it again, but we're gonna see if we can do it a little shorter, because this does work. The problem is when you have a negative in the middle, it's gonna be awful. So again, I'm gonna take the 35 times the 6, and I'm gonna put it right here. Okay. And then the middle number, it has to sum to 31. Because that's a plus, it has to sum to 31. So, okay. What are two numbers that make 35?
7 and 5.
So let's try 7 and 5. What's two numbers that'll give you 6?
5.
It's kind of a crummy 5. Okay. What's two numbers that'll give you 6?
2 and 3.
So this one you should write down. Okay. Okay. And then, oh, I think I see it already. Who knows one of the pairs that we should multiply together?
7 and 2. 7 and 3.
I think the 7 times the 3, because that gives us 21. And what's left is the what?
5 and 2.
5 times 2, which gives us 10. Does that come to 31? This method, once you get that, you're done. Now you just need to write. This comes from our first number. So our front numbers are,
7 and 5.
yeah, 7 and 5. 7B times 5B. And this one, everything was positive, so it's going to stay positive. And then, now you just have to be careful. So that 7 we multiplied with the what? The 7 went with the 3. So I just need to be careful and put the 7 with the 3 and the 5 with the 2. And we're done. So again, we could do the first method or the second. Which is your preference? Do you have a preference? The number 2? I like the number 2. So, and this is it. Again, 7 times 5 is my 35. 2 times 3 is my 6. Inside is 10B. Outside is 21B, which comes to our 21B that we had originally. So that is it. So our number 10 is 7B plus 2, and then 5B plus 3. All right. Then we're not going to have time for any homework.
What time is it?
It's 11:08. We get out here at 19? Okay, let's see if we could maybe do a couple more. Okay, so this one is 11 is 10r squared plus 13 minus 3. So I'm going to take the first times the last, 10 times 3, and it's going to end up being a negative. Because that's a negative, are we going to sum our products to get 13 or take the difference? Take the difference. The difference has to come to a positive 13. So now again, I'm going to use pencil because it's trial and error. What two numbers will give you
5 and 1, or 5 and 2, and then 2.
It could also be 10 and 1. Oh, I think it might even be 10 and 1.
It's 5 and 2.
Why do we think it's going to be 10 and 1? Because of that 3. Well, we'll do the 5 and 2 first, just to see. 5 times 2 and 3 times 1. So 5 times 3 is 15.
No, but do it on the
Oh,
outside.
I think you're right. I think it's 5 times 2. Look at, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps. Because remember, we have to take the difference to get 13. Right, so 2 times 1 is 2. Is that difference 13? Yes, we did it. Woo! Okay, so who knows our first numbers? What are the first numbers going to be? Girls and boys. What are our first numbers going to be in the parentheses? 5 and 2. So 5R times 2R. And then here's where you just need to be very careful. One's a positive, one's a negative. I can't put the signs yet. So what did we multiply the 5 times? Was it the 3? The 5 went with the 3, and the 2 went with the 1. And so this gives me 1 times 2 is 2R, 3 times 5 is 15R. We need more positives. Which one is the positive going to go with the 2 or the 15? The 15. And what made that 15 was that 5 times 3. So that positive goes here, and the negative goes here. That's it. And so this is going to be 5R minus 1. And did I get everybody's homework? Oh, I picked it up yesterday. No, I didn't. I picked up the first page, but I need the puzzle one. 2R plus 3. We'll do 2 more, and then I'm going to give you just a very small assignment. 3. We haven't done this one, have we? What happened when the boarding house blew up? What's that? No, we haven't, because these had all different numbers. I don't know. I was going to sign some from there, but I don't think we're going to have time. So I think what I'm going to do is we'll just wrap it up with, I think I'm going to have you do number 15, only 15 and 13. Don't worry about 14. Don't worry about this one. Just 13 and 15, and we'll do this one. In fact, don't even worry about this one. Just do 13 and 15, and that's it. So you can sit with somebody, see if you can get those, and then I'll let you know if you have the right answer, and I need to pull your test to see if there's anything that anybody could do in a couple of minutes. Yeah, bring up your worksheet from, or set it over there. Did you get it done?
I'm just asking what time it is.
We still have about 7 more minutes. So you have time to do that. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Your name is on it. Okay, so okay, Trinity, can you come here just for a second, sweetie? All right. Come around here. Yes, I can show this. Okay. This is what it is right now. Because you didn't collect like items. There's so many things. What happens with b squared divided by b squared? Cancels, but you're still showing it there. So there's a lot of things wrong. I don't know if you're going to have time right now, but I can't pull out a y squared that doesn't have y squared. What's the most that I can pull out? A single y. And by the way, if you had pulled out a 6y squared, it would be times 1 that would give you that back. So do you want to try to do at least these 2 right now, and we'll do a little bit every day? So just try to redo those 2. Right? Y's. Yes.
You try.
If it's positive, they don't. But you go back, you look at this one. So you select it there, and it's not here. So if you have time, how do you redo it? Here you go. And here's another one if that one doesn't work. And Vanessa, you got a 97 on the test. You did great.
Good job, Vanessa. I'm quite proud of you. Oh, what is going on with this thing?
Then don't use that one. Use the other one then.
No, that one was also not
No,
one.
it doesn't.
I think it has like a piece of lead in there.
Actually, Anthony, you need to fix some up, but we don't have time. Matthew, you must learn the box method over the weekend. Do I need to send you a video? What's that? You don't? You did? Really? You had nothing better to do and you just did the box method last night? Okay, good, good. Because I'll have you redo those. Yes, did you have a question? Which one? Okay, on which one are you doing? This one? So, you did. Wait a second. This is 16 times 1. Okay, so you have 16 times 1. So, and it's supposed to, the difference is supposed to be this. So, 8 times 1 is 8. Oh, that's it. You got it.
I just don't understand why I put the negatives in.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so you got it. Very good. So you need more positives. So you're going to put it with the bigger number, the one that made 8. Okay, well, look at. What made that 8 was 8 times 1. It's going to go here. Is that going to give you positive 8? 8 times positive 1 is going to give you positive 8. So I put the negative here. Because 2 times that is going to be a negative 2. That's it. Okay? She got it. She's so smart. So yeah, I don't have time to give anybody back their test right now. Haley over 90, Vanessa 97. Armando, come here just for a second. I'll show you what you needed to do. Okay. All right. Why are you changing the signs? Why did you change all the signs? There's no negative here. So you don't change any of those signs, sweetie. Okay. You don't change any of these signs. But because it's a negative, you do change them on this one. So you've got to fix those up because all of these are not correct. So when I give it back to you Monday, and remind me to give it back to you, you're going to have to erase all those signs and then recollect your A squares, your A's, and your numbers. All righty? I'll give it to you Monday. Yeah, I'm going to pull yours. Joelle. Okay, so let's see where the big thing is you just didn't collect. Like, that's 1A squared. How many is that?
2A squared.
What's 1 and 2?
2.
What's 1 and 2?
3.
3. You can put a 1 in front of that. So you're not collecting, and I know you can, this one you got right, actually. So this one, if it's a negative, you've got to change all of those signs and then collect them, okay? So I'm not going to go over each thing right now because it's going to be too much for your head. But this is that factoring that I said, this is going to help you redo some of them on the test. You should pull out a number, like what's in common in both?
6 and 12.
A 6. Well, a 6 is in both. And then how many Y's can I pull out? Oh, I forgot to stop this recording.